3 hours,
3-4
on
hours.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And we get 50 numbers between the two of us.
Yeah.
On a Walmart.
On
We used to have Fedco,
One
Walmart.
parking lot.
No, we would drive around. It just, if we got kicked out,
If I got
we
kicked
get kicked out.
out, you have to get tough, you know, it's like,
Sometimes
you
they
need to get
come
out of
out
here.
and they say you can't do
You
that.
like your job?
Right.
You can talk with the entrepreneurs out of your parking lot? Is that what you do? No.
That's what we teach our guys, is if you're going to get kicked out, get that guy's number. But sometimes they tell you you can't do it, but they don't.
Hey, look, if they can protest abortion on any block, trust me, you can do whatever you want. But there's no way for me to get into a big tip. I was like, no problem, man, thank you
So
very
we
much.
would just drive to the next one,
Drive
and
to
we
the
just
next
keep
Kmart,
going, you know,
whatever.
so sometimes it takes us a few more hours because we have to move around a couple times. But when you find a really good spot that doesn't bother you and it works, we would just hit that one hard until we tapped it out. Like, when it was tapped out.
Until they had my picture on a monitor.
Yeah.
Do not let this guy. He's got a shopping cart.
What kind of questions did you ask in your surveys?
I just said,
Did you live or work in the area? Have you been at your job for less or more than 5 years? And if you can make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month part-time or switch careers to a six-figure income, would you be interested in working for
I just wanted to
I've said it, so I haven't said that to somebody.
like 10 years, 11 years.
We were an RVP in 2000.
Yeah.
And so I haven't said it in 10 years, but I know it because I said it for so many times, for 4 straight months,
Hey.
every Saturday and Sunday to 100 people.
Tell them
Yeah,
that I called you and I wouldn't go until you got
Well, the first time, because it beats the fear out of you, helps you learn how to overcome objections, both up front, face-to-face, and on the phone when you do the follow-up. So it really gets you tough, right? It makes you have some thick skin. And I'm not a prospector, salesperson. I like people, but I don't initiate conversation. That's Alan's job. You know, so the first time we went, we were in the parking lot, and there's a bunch of us. You know, we all had this big old rally where everyone's going to get together, we're going to go do it. So we went after Saturday training, a bunch of us were doing it. And I had my clipboard, everyone had their clipboard, and we kept walking past each other, right? Everyone's like going past each other, a couple guys got some over there, a couple guys got some, Alan got some. And Alan, every time we passed each other, go, how you doing? And I had nobody. I hadn't talked to anybody. And then like an hour goes by, he's like, how you doing? And I still hadn't talked to anybody. And like 2 hours comes by, he goes, how you doing? I already got 30. I'm like, oh, leave me alone, I'm fine. And I got nobody, right? So then after like 4 hours, he comes back by, he goes, I talked to my 100, I got my 25. How did you do? And I talked to nobody. I just watched people pass me by the whole time. I didn't talk to anybody. And he goes, well, I got the keys, and it looks like we're going to sit here until you talk to someone. He sat on the curb, and he waited for me to talk to someone. I said, I'm going to do it. And he goes, what, are you going to chicken out? What are you going to do? You're going to whip out? And I was like, I'm going to do it. Leave me alone. I'm going to talk to someone. And so I said, I got it. And I'm like trying to muster myself up. So I've been trying to do that for 4 hours. I've been trying to get all the So finally, this one guy, like a couple people passed by, he goes, oh, you missed another one. Oh, you missed another one. He goes, we're not going anywhere. We're not leaving. And I was like, all right. Dang, can't I just do it tomorrow? Nope, you better do it now. You want this monkey on your back, you better get it done. And I was like, all right, fine. So finally, like a few people had walked by, and I start to walk, and I stop. He goes, oh, there you go again, right? This one guy finally walks by, he had a baby in his hand. He goes, there's one. I said, okay, I got it. And I went up behind him, and I said, excuse me, can you help me? And then that's how we always, excuse me, can you help me with a 3-second survey? That's how we started it. 3-second survey, a 3-question survey, because nobody wants to answer 20 questions. So excuse me, can you just help me with a 3-question survey? That's how we started it all the time. So most people say yeah for 3 questions, you know? And so he's like, sure. So he's putting his baby in the car, and then I'm asking him the 3 questions I said, and at the end he goes, sure, and he gave me his name and number. So it was only 1. And so I told him, I got it. He goes, okay, let's go. So I got the 1 in like 5 hours. Okay, called him, became a client, a recruit, and is still a client today. Wow. Yeah, just the 1, just the 1. You know, we watched them have multiple babies. You know, but that one time,
you got to make a coaching.
After I did that, then I had an easier time later on, but he didn't let me go home.
I've done that
without
with
them.
recruits.
Yeah.
I've been with recruits who had no market. You know, they're just no market. They quit their job. I was like, look, you got no job, you got no market. You're going to have to do it this way. Okay, I can't do it. Well, you know what? You better call your husband because I'm moving until you get a number. Yep. And I've done that to people, and I just said, hey, take your time. I got lots of money, I'll just buy another coffee. Because you know what, if you're gonna be that scared, your whole life is gonna be nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but, you know, I get him to do it, and then mother goes, was that so hard? I said, no. So, well, there you go, that's the business. It's not very hard, it's just annoying that you gotta do it.
Like, or take someone, like, I train them how to talk to managers. We go to a strip mall, and then there'd be a Taco Bell, Burger King, or whatever's there, Payless, you know, shoes, whatever. And then, so I would take them in groups, you know, 3 or 4 people. They needed to learn how to get numbers. So I take them in one at a time, right? So I take them in, I say, okay, Dave, watch me, I'm gonna talk to the manager. So I talk to the manager, I'd show him either it was a yes or a no, it didn't matter, but my words stayed the same. And I said, okay, Dave, now you do the next one. I walked in with him to the next store, and then I'd watch him do it. I'm like, there you go. Okay, all right, Alan, let's go to the next one. I'd show him. I'd say, okay, you're going to do the next one. Then he would do that. Okay, there you go, Alan, just keep doing that. And then I would just train him like that over and over again. And then eventually they all knew how to get numbers, and I didn't have to go. You know, I would just, after that, it was just how many did you get? How many did you talk to? Where did you go? How long were you out there? And it was just accountability once they knew what to say. And if I heard them say it once, they couldn't tell me they didn't know what to say. So that's another way that we would train people.
Do you specifically ask for the manager?
Yep.
Yeah. I wanted somebody, because I could say, listen, are you the one responsible for training and
For
developing
training.
these people? And I said, well, you know what, you've done a great job. Now, I would never do it with a nasty store that looked totally disgusting. Because then I know that manager has no responsibility. But if it was a nice store, I was like, you know what, I got to tell you, Gladys, this location is absolutely impeccable. You've done a great job with your customer service people. Can I just ask you a question? You know, if you could take the kind of skills that you had in developing this into making a 6-figure income, would you be open to that? I mean, just out of curiosity. Because they're already making good money as a manager, so I need to talk about 6 figures, right?
Yeah.
So they go, well,